Okay, hi guys. I know I said I'd come back and do a video specifically on HCG. I am going to start another round here in a couple of weeks, so I wanted to do this video. That way, if you are wanting to start the HCG with me, you'll be prepared. So, first and foremost, I know a lot of people have asked what HCG is. So, HCG is human chorionic gonadotrophin. Basically, it's the pregnancy hormone. The HCG that we're taking for the diet is nowhere near the amount of HCG that you produce when you're pregnant. But it's just a natural hormone that you create in your body all the time. The HCG that you're taking is higher than what you create normally, but it's lower than what you create when you're pregnant. So it's just enough to pull the stored fat from your body, which when you're pregnant, your body uses. Let's say you didn't eat for like 2 or 3 days. Your baby's still going to be fine because it's pulling the stored fat from your body in order to nourish that baby. So when you're taking HCG, what it does is it's pulling the stored fat from your body, using it as energy, using the vitamins and minerals that get flooded into your blood from the fat, and then what you don't use, you release. You pee out. But anyway, so that's what HCG is, and that's how it works. Now, I'm not going to go too in depth. I am going to put some links on the bottom, which is going to be where I get my HCG, the actual Dr. Simeon's manuscript, which is the doctor that discovered HCG for weight loss, wrote the entire book. So it's going to give you everything you need to know about HCG. If you don't like to read, I'm also going to put another link to a another book that kind of gives you the basics of what HCG is and how it works. But it's just the basics. If you're like me and like to do your own research and want to read everything that has to do with what you're about to do or what you're about to use, then you'll like the first book, Dr. Simeon's Manuscript. That gives you everything you would need to know and how it works and everything. But anyway, so basically the HCG drops I used, the first time I used the prescription, which is, I got it like this. Now this is old. It is no longer good. This is what I used for my first round, which has been more than a year now. And it's the chorionic, I'm not sure if you can see that, but it tells you it's the HCG. And I use this in injection form. But when I heard about the drops, I decided I would try them. So these are the drops. And now they've come out with the pellet form, which is like a little itty bitty pill, homeopathic type little pill. I wish I had some, I'd show you. But I'm thinking of ordering those because they're a little bit more convenient. I have a girlfriend that's using them now and she loves them. She did the drops first. While I was doing the shots, she was doing the drops. And we got the same results, but she did not get hungry. She didn't have that moody feeling. She was exercising the whole time. And I kind of felt like there was no way I could do anything when I was doing it the first time. I just felt like, not miserable. I don't want to say I was miserable because I still went about my normal life and everything without feeling tired or anything, but I didn't have the energy that I felt she had when she was doing the drops. So I figured this time I'd try the drops. So when I did try the drops, it was a whole different experience. The shots are a lot more convenient only because you do one shot in the morning and then you go about the rest of your day. The drops, I was having a hard time in the beginning because I'd forget to take them. And you have to take them 3 times a day, at least 10 drops under your tongue, 30 minutes before you eat. So what I got in the habit of, in the morning while I'm putting on my makeup, I'd take my drops. And then I'd drive to work, and it takes me about 20-30 minutes to get to work. So by the time I got to work, I could have my coffee, and if I was going to have my fruit or whatever, I'd have that. Then for lunch, once me and the girls started talking about what we're going to have for lunch, I knew I had to take my drops. So I'd take my drops, and then by the time we decided and went and got whatever we were going to eat, then it was time for me to eat anyway. Then what I did for dinner is, before I left work at 5 o'clock, I'd take my drops, so by the time I got home and decided whatever it was to eat, then I'd already be ready to eat because it took me another 20-30 minutes to get home. Sometimes I would forget, like if I walked out of work without taking them, I'd get home and I'm like, I need to take my drops, but I'd get busy with the kids or doing something else and I'd forget. So I would eat and then think, oh shoot, I didn't take my drops. So I'd go in there and take them anyway. I would just take them and then wait about 30 minutes before I had anything else to drink or whatever. The first round I did, I lost 30 pounds, I think it was exactly. This second time I did it, I had gained 15 of those pounds back, because when you do the diet, there's phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4. Well, I did phase 1 and phase 2 perfectly. Phase 3, I didn't do so good. I just was so hyped about the idea that I lost all this weight, I figured I could eat however and keep it off, which I did in the beginning. It took almost a year to gain those 15 pounds back, even though I was eating whatever, whenever. I kind of just was like, what, you know, I didn't care. And I started gaining maybe about 5 pounds, and I said, you know, if I gain 10, then I'll start keeping track of what I'm eating, and I'll lose the weight back. Well, when I got to the 10 pounds, I was like, okay, it's time to start really getting serious about this, because the weight's starting to come back on. So then I hit 15 pounds, and I was like, okay, I got to do something about this. I cannot let it go any further, because this is how it started in the first place. So that's when me and another YouTuber, which I mentioned before, Amazingly Curly, we got together and decided we were going to do the HCG, and then I have another friend who we decided we were going to do the HCG. So that's when it came around to the second round. The second round, I had gained 15 pounds back. So I'm going to tell you, I started at 170. I got down to 140. And then I went back up to 155, 156, give or take. And then the first 2 days of HCG, when you do the injectables, you do 3 days of loading. 3 days of loading, which is you eat as much as you want, as much as you can hold down. You just want to eat till you're sick. Now, if you do the drops, you only get 2 days of loading, which in my round, I did 3, because that's when I told you I was kind of depressed. My husband had left, and I was kind of moody and funky, and I just was not really caring that I was starting the HCG, but I knew I had to do it. So I did 3 days of loading on the drops. You're only supposed to do 2, but I did 3. So on my second round, I lost, on the loading days, I gained 4 pounds. So I was up to 160.5. And then I wound up losing 22 pounds. I went from 160.5 down to 139 on this second round. But I want to say, even though I gained those 15 pounds back, it's like it distributed through my body. So on the scale, I gained that weight, but you really couldn't tell too much. Like, my clothes started fitting a little bit tighter, but not really. They did, like, you can tell you gained weight, but it wasn't that bad. And I think that's what let me keep going a little bit, because I still look fine in my clothes and everything. So it got distributed through my body. It wasn't just all in my middle, which is the biggest issue I have, is all my weight goes straight to my middle. And so that's a good thing to know. But anyway, so I lost those 20-something pounds, 20 pounds, 21 pounds. And I got down to 139, which I've maintained. Thank God. This time I was like completely dedicated to not gaining the weight back, because I do not want to have to do this anymore. So I lost the weight, and I'm at 139, and I have fluctuated. But the phase 3 I did do perfectly. I did not cheat. I did everything I was supposed to. Now towards the end, like the last maybe half week or something, I did start to incorporate carbs just to try to test my body and see where I was going to go. Now, I didn't gain with certain carbs, but I did gain with sugars. So it's kind of like I'm learning what my body is okay with and what it's not. So I've maintained the 139. I have, what I decided to do is kind of Monday through Thursday, eat good, like stick to it no matter what. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I kind of just have fun and, you know, have some ice cream. And I don't want to be too strict to where I can't have any fun, because I like to drink. I like to drink my beer. And I've started drinking this Miller Genuine Draft 64. And it only has like 2 point something carbs, which is good. 2.4 carbs. So, and I don't drink every day because I don't, this is, I think, why I've gotten such a beer belly. But, so I've tried to figure out what works with my body and what doesn't. I've noticed that I need protein. If I don't eat anything else, I have to get my protein down, because I've noticed if I don't get my protein down, I gain weight. If I get a whole bunch of protein down, then I maintain, I even lose sometimes without even trying. So that's how my second round has gone. One thing, another thing that I've noticed about the HCG is that, what was it? Okay, when I lost weight the first time, on the first round I lost the 30 pounds. I got into a size 9 really well. I fit a size 9. I mean, I fit it completely. And like I said, I like to wear my jeans really, really tight. So when I started, I was in a size 13 jeans. These are an 11. And the only reason I don't have a pair of 13 jeans is because I refused to buy them that big. You know, that's when once I couldn't fit these, I knew something was wrong. So this is like when my first round. These are my size 11s. But like I said, I could not fit these anymore. And I was stuffing myself in these and wearing the biggest shirt I could find just to cover myself up. Then, when about maybe 2 to 3 weeks into it, I had lost some weight. So I went out and bought some jeans. Shouldn't have done that. But these are a size 11. And these are from Kohl's. They're the SO brand. And these fit me tight and perfect. I mean, I loved them. They look really good. But then a couple weeks later, I lost that weight. So then I went to a size 9, which I don't have. But, oh yes I do. Are these a 9? Oh no, those aren't them. Okay, so anyway. Then I went into a size 9. And that's when I lost the 30 pounds. So I got into a size 9 and I lost 3 sizes basically. I felt really good and I looked good in my jeans and everything. And then the whole story about me gaining weight and everything. Well, this round, I was still in my size 9. Even though I gained those 15 pounds, I was still in the same size 9 from when I lost the weight the first time. I was 139.5 when I lost the weight the first time. That was my finishing weight the first round. This round, I was 155, 156, but I was still wearing my size 9s. A little tight, but I was still fitting them. That's all I was saying. You really didn't tell that I was gaining weight. Well, after this round of HCG, my second round, I'm back down to 139. I'm half a pound less than I was the first time I finished. And I'm in a size 5'7". So, I don't know how or why that happened. That's weird to me, because you would think I'd be back in a size 9. Well, my 9s are like super baggy on me. These are a size, my daughter's jeans. And these are a size 7 long, and they're the Massimo brand from Target. So I can fit into these perfectly, and they're fitted. I like the way they fit. And I can also wear some of her size 5s, which I haven't worn a size 5 in I don't know how long. I also got these, which are a size 4 misses in the Massimo brand as well, and these fit perfect. I got a pair of size 6s before I finished my round. Like I said, I got the pair of size 6 and I got a pair of size 9 before I finished my round 3 weeks into it, and they fit perfect. And then now I can't fit them, so I'm not buying any clothes, and I haven't bought anything except one top since I'm going to do another round, and I don't know where I'm going to end up in this round, because it's kind of confusing. I was 139 before, after the first round, and I'm 139 now. But yet, when I finished the first round, I was a size 9, and now I'm finished with my second round at the same weight, but I'm a size 5 to a size 7. Or a 4, 6, I would think. No, I don't think the 6 would fit me, because these fit me just right. I think if I went any bigger, they'd be too big. So, I think I'm going to end up maybe in a size 3, 5. I'm not sure. But, so that's something to look forward to. I'm really excited to figure out where I'm going to end up. I don't think I'll need another round after this. I'm really just mainly trying to lose the rest of the weight that I have around my belly. That tells you about basically my little HCG journey. Sorry to ramble so much. Okay. Let me get into what you will need. Okay. You're going to be doing a 500 calorie diet. And everything's going to be in these links that I'm putting down underneath. But just to go through them with you real quick. 500 calorie diet. Breakfast is going to be tea or coffee in any quantity without sugar. So you drink unsweet tea. What I've done, and see, when I do my next video, right before I start, I'm going to have everything with me. So you'll see what I use. You know what? Let me grab some stuff. That way you don't have to wait till then. Hold on. Okay. So I grabbed a few things. It's not everything, but I grabbed what I could. Okay, so like I said, for breakfast is tea or coffee or water. I drink unsweet tea. When I started my first round of HCG, I started drinking unsweet tea. My coworkers drink unsweet tea, and I couldn't imagine drinking unsweet tea. But once I started the HCG, I started drinking unsweet tea, and now that's all I drink. I've gotten used to it. It doesn't taste bad to me. It just tastes a little bit kind of like flavored water. It's just not sweet. So, yeah, like kind of watered down tea. So, that's what I drink. Coffee, I do drink coffee almost every morning. And when I do, it gives you can have 1 tablespoon of milk a day. I don't drink milk very often. I'm trying to get into the habit of drinking it because it has a lot of protein. But this does allow you 1 tablespoon of milk a day. Excuse me, because I don't drink milk, I bought sugar-free French vanilla. It still has 3 carbs in here, so you want to be careful. I would try it out and see how it works for you. If you happen to gain the next day after using it, then that means you may not want to use that. I also buy this kind, Coffee Mate, sugar-free. But there's also another Walmart one that says no sugar added, which is the one I normally get. I picked up the wrong one this time, but it says no sugar added. So it doesn't have artificial sugars in here. This one has artificial flavors, which is nasty. It doesn't really taste good. But, so I'll leave it. I'll finish it. This one tastes a lot better, but it also has artificial sugar. Aspartame, I think it is. And because of, how it's supposed to cause cancer and all that, I really don't like using it. So I get the one that says no sugar added. So it's basically just naturally sweet from whatever already comes in there. They don't add anything to it, any sugars to it. So that's the one I would recommend. I just don't have it to show you. If I can find a picture of it, I'll put it in here. Okay, so that's coffee in the morning. I always have my coffee every morning, and plenty of water. If you want, you can have one of your fruits, because you get 2 fruits a day. You can have one of those fruits for breakfast. You can have an apple, strawberries, or grapefruit. You can also have oranges, but you have to be careful because they're a little bit sweeter, so they may make you gain weight. This doesn't have oranges listed on here, but I've used oranges and didn't have a problem with them. I just don't do them every single day. So for breakfast, if you're absolutely hungry, you feel hungry, after you've taken your drops, you can have your cup of coffee, you can have some unsweet tea, you can have water, and you can have one of your fruits. Then for lunch, you would have 100 grams of meat, which is either veal, beef, chicken breast, fresh white fish, lobster, crab, or shrimp. Shrimp, you'll get a lot of shrimp for 100 grams. I love to eat shrimp now, and I get that Frank's hot wing sauce, and I saute the shrimp in coconut oil, drop some of the Frank's hot wing sauce in there, and it's so good. Even on top of a salad, delicious. Also chicken breast, I like to chop that up. And I got this info from another girlfriend of mine that does HCG, and she has some recipes. So I'm not going to say I'm going to do recipes every single day, but if I do, I'll try to video a couple of them so you'll be able to see what I'm doing. Fresh white fish. I did eat a lot of fish on the first round. I didn't eat it so much the second time. I ate mostly chicken and shrimp. I did do beef. Lean sirloin is really, really good. I had that. So 100 grams or 3.5 ounces. This is my little scale, and this is where I weigh my meat on. I ordered this off of Amazon. I ordered it off Amazon for like probably 10 bucks or so. And what I do is when I use it, I just put some wax paper on top because it doesn't weigh anything, and then I just put my meat on top. And you probably need something a little bit bigger, especially for chicken. But since I didn't really pay attention to what I was ordering, I just saw that it was a food scale. It's actually a coin scale. I just ordered it and it was like $10. Or you can go to Walmart or somewhere and just get you a food scale, but they're a little bit more expensive, like 20, 30 bucks. So, you will need a food scale. Definitely need to invest in a food scale. And you need a scale to weigh yourself on daily. And you want one that goes from every 2 ounces. So 0.2, 0.4, 0.6. Because you want to be able to see what you're gaining or losing every single day. I don't have one that does that, but my girlfriend does. So when I would stall, when I wouldn't see any movement, it was normally because I didn't have that scale that showed every single ounce. So even though I was losing, I couldn't tell because then the next day I'd have this big loss. But if I would have had that scale that kind of told you every ounce, then I probably would have seen an ounce or two come off instead of just seeing one big loss the following day. So anyway, okay, so then one type of vegetable only to be chosen from the following: spinach, chard, chicory, beet greens, green salad, tomatoes, celery, fennel, onions, red radishes, cucumbers, asparagus, and cabbage. I used cabbage a lot. I used cucumbers. I ate asparagus, onions, celery, tomatoes, and salads, and spinach. Those are the only ones. I don't know how to cook, or haven't had chard or chicory, and I don't think I've ever had beet greens either. So I had spinach, green salad, tomatoes, celery, onions, cucumbers, asparagus, and cabbage. Oh, and I heard red radishes, you can chop them up kind of like hash browns and saute them in some coconut oil, and they taste like potatoes. Haven't tried it yet, but I might this time. So you get one vegetable and you get 2 cups basically, which is basically like a handful. And I would get like a measuring cup, those big 2-cup measuring cups, and I'd get like a handful of spinach, and I just kind of stuff it in there. I'd push it down until it filled up the 2 cups, and then that's what I would eat. And it doesn't say meat on here. I mean, it doesn't say meat. On the meat part of it, sometimes you can substitute eggs. I did. I'd have maybe 2 egg omelet for dinner, and I didn't have any problems with it. So, you can have 1 breadstick or 1 Melba toast. This is your Melba toast. And this I got from the health food store. There's that kind. This is from the health food store. Let me show you what it looks like. That's your Melba toast. You can have 2 a day. Whoa. Here's another brand. This I got at Hcg. It's also the same thing. This one's just a whole grain. Now, I have another kind that I keep at work. And that one's a little bit wider. Like, it's about that big. So you get a little bit more out of it. But it's just a different brand, and that's the way they made theirs. Also, the Grissini breadsticks. I don't have any with me to show you, but I will. I'm planning on purchasing them from the health food store next time I go by there, because I want to try those this time, just to have something different. And It's called Gracino. Gracino. And if I find a picture of them, I'll put it in here as well. And then you get 1 fruit. Now this is lunch. 1 meat, 1 vegetable, 1 breadstick or Melba toast, and 1 fruit, which consists of strawberries, a handful, half a grapefruit, or an apple. It doesn't matter what size apple. So that's lunch. Then dinner, you do the same thing. You do it again. You want to switch it up though. Like if you have chicken for lunch, you want to have maybe beef for dinner or fish or something different. You try not to have the same thing over and over. So again, it's 100 or 3.5 ounces of meat, 1 type of vegetable, 1 breadstick, and 1 apple. Now, like I said, if you decide you wake up in the morning and the coffee's not enough, you can have your breadstick and your fruit. But you can't have it again for lunch or dinner. Well, wait, that doesn't make sense. You can have 2 of each a day. So if you eat 1 for breakfast, you can't have 1 for lunch and 1 for dinner again. You just kind of switch it around however you want. You can not have it for lunch and have it for dinner. But you can have the juice of 1 lemon daily, which is good in your water, lemon juice. Salt, pepper, vinegar, mustard powder, garlic, basil, parsley, thyme, marjoram, etc. may be used for seasoning, but no oils, butter, or dressing. Now, the coconut oil that I mentioned, coconut oil is really good for you, not just for your skin and your hair. It's really good to eat. But you kind of have to be careful because it's the type of oil that you break up and you don't store. So you want to try it and see if it works for you. Make sure you don't gain on it. I never gained on it, and I would have like 1 or 2 tablespoons a day. Sometimes I'd put it in my coffee just to give it a different texture. So just want to test and see. Tea, coffee, plain water, or mineral water are the only drinks allowed. They may be taken in any quantity and at all times. You should drink at least 2 liters of these fluids per day. Because you want to, like I said earlier, the fat that you don't use, you pee it out. So you want to stay completely hydrated so you can pee it out. When you come into water retention, you will hold that weight. You won't lose that day, or you won't lose the next day if you have water retention. So you have to be very careful about getting all your water down. Let me show you something else I use. I use this Tony Chateaurouge, the bomb. If you don't like spicy stuff, this may be too much for you, but this works really, really good. I like to put it in the lean sirloin and the chicken. It's good stuff. Another thing that's really good to flavor your food with is this Bragg's amino acids, and I talked about this on my first round as well. Works really good. It's kind of like soy sauce, but it's healthy for you. It's not just salt, sodium. So this has a lot of the amino acids that you get from meat, basically. Stevia. I don't use Sweet and Low, Splenda, or any of those artificial sweeteners. I use stevia in powder form, and this is what I normally have at work and at home for my coffee. If I decide to put sweetener in my coffee, I use this, and it just comes in a little packet like this, and all it is stevia, sweet leaf. Let me tell you what it is. Vegetable fiber and stevia leaf extract. And this is an all-natural sweetener. Comes 35 packets, and this was probably, since prices are going up, this is about almost $5. It used to be like $2.99, and it's gone up. It's almost doubled in price. Very sad. But that's what I have, and I'll buy 1 pack, and then I'll take half of the pack and keep it at work for my coffee, and I'll keep half pack here just in case I need it. But I really don't use it for anything, really, unless I make coffee at home. So that's that one. And then sometimes you just get tired of water. I also have the liquid. This is plain, oh, this is vanilla stevia extract, and I got this at Whole Foods. Sometimes you get tired of water, and since you can use lemon, juice of a lemon daily, I would get like a glass of water, put all my lemon in there, and then drop some drops of stevia in there just to have like a lemonade, which helped, because it can get kind of boring eating the same things every day. But it's only for 6 weeks. You can do a 3-week round, which is 26 days. It's 3 weeks on the drops and then 3 days off the drops, or pellets, or whatever, shots, whatever one you decide to do. Or if you need to lose, and you can lose probably about 20 pounds in that first 3 weeks. If you stick to the diet, I mean completely. You have to not cheat, because you'll gain if you cheat. So you can lose about 20 pounds in the 3-week period. Then, or you can do a 6 weeks period, which I did. This last time I planned on doing 3 weeks, but it went by so fast, and it was so kind of easy with the drops. It was so different from the shots, like I said before, and I just went on for another 3 weeks. And I was going to do it longer, but I decided to stop and take a break until I was ready to start again. So you can do 3 weeks or 6 weeks, depending on how much you need to lose and how much willpower you have. And it's pretty tough. I'm not going to lie. It is tough to get through, especially when you're used to eating whatever you want when you want. The second thing I want to talk about is phases. The first phase, I'm not sure how long this video is going to be. So sorry. The first phase is loading. That's when you eat whatever you want until you cannot eat anymore, until you feel sick. That's the first 2 days. You're going to eat hamburgers, bacon, cheese. I mean, sugar loaded, fat loaded, carb loaded, everything. You want to just gorge yourself for the first 2 days. That's phase 1. Phase 2 starts the 3rd day. The 3rd day, when you weigh yourself, is what your weight is, what you start at. That's where you start counting your weight. So for me it was the 4th day, because I did 3 loading days. So on the 4th day is when I weighed 160.5. So that's where I started. That starts day 1. So even though you already started the drops, you start the drops on the first day of your gorge day, because you want to give the HCG time to get in your system, and all that gorging, the food that you're taking in, the fat, the HCG starts attacking that first, because it takes a little bit of time to really get into your system and start pulling the fat from your stored fat from wherever you have, stored fat at. So you have to use those 2 days, the gorging days, but you also start the drops or pellets or whatever at the same time. So then, once you do the gorge days, on the 3rd day, you wake up, you weigh yourself. That's your weight. That's your starting weight. You take your drops and you start the low-calorie diet, which is what we just went through. Then you do that for your 23 days, 26 days, or your 43 days. However long you want to do it for. 3 weeks or 6 weeks, basically. That's your phase 2. Then your phase 3 is when you stop the drops. You're completely off the drops, and you start with a no carb, no sugar diet. You can up your calories, where you basically can eat pretty much whatever you want, just as long as it doesn't have any sugar or carbs. So if you get a burger, you have to take off the bread. If you get pizza, you can't eat the pizza. You can only eat the toppings. So you have to be very, very careful still. Even though you're not as limited, you still have to be careful, because you cannot eat any sugars or any carbs. And that goes for 3 weeks. In order to reset your hypothalamus gland, in order to keep your weight that you finish at on HCG, you're going to have to do the phases completely and to the T. Now, don't get me wrong, I've cheated. I have cheated, but thank God it didn't affect me that much. I did gain, but you do a correction day, and I'll get into that later on. It's not a lot to remember. It's just a lot to get into a little video that I'm trying to keep not too long. But anyway, so let me know if you're interested in starting. I'm going to put the links on the bottom. If you have any questions, let me know. That way I can get any